Hey, thanks for coming on this week's podcast. This week we're going to talk about Facebook advertising and some of the things that might be holding you back from getting results. Obviously, over the last few months, doing advertising on Facebook has become, really a key component to generating potential leads and even traffic to your web presence. And the thing that I always stress is that it's part of a bigger puzzle. Obviously, there's a lot of things that need to be in place to really get consistent results so that when you're investing this money, it's worth your time and it's worth your efforts. So the first thing I always try to explain to people is there's two things that can go wrong: external problems and internal problems. When we're talking about external problems, we're talking about once people see the ad, they might go externally to your Facebook business page, to your insurance agency website. These things, even though they're not part of the ad, the consumer may look at. And I think it's important to understand that these are part of the same puzzle. Um, so again, I always say think about it logically. If you were to see an ad on Facebook, what would you do? You would click back to the business page that's attached to the ad. Obviously at the, at obviously every Facebook ad in the upper left-hand corner says the business page and you can click on it. So my point is if you're going on to Facebook and you're doing some ads, let's say they're Medicare ads for people turning 65, um, you know, if somebody clicks back to your Facebook business page, you should have a real consistent flow of good content on that page from the last few weeks. Obviously, that's relevant to Medicare and maybe turning 65, showing that you're the expert, showing that you're committed to this every day, and that you're not just some sort of lead generation company. So that's obviously very important. Number two, just the whole look and feel of your business page needs to be done professionally. The pictures should fit. Like I said, daily content should be there. Obviously, a phone number if someone wants to call you. These things do add up and they can make a difference. The next thing that you want to make sure that is solid is your website. Obviously, your website is attached to your Facebook business page. If I was a consumer, I'm going to do my diligence before I start going off and calling people and talking to people. I want to make sure you're legitimate. So, if you're doing this advertising for one product and your website doesn't say anything about that product or is totally irrelevant or you don't even have a website, these things are going to come back to be a factor and they're going to cost you results. So, like I said, remember when people see your ad, they are going to click back. They're going to do diligence. They're going to look at your Facebook page. They're going to look at your website. Make sure these things are, done correctly and are done at a high level, and that'll help you long term with getting more results. The second thing you need to think about when you're doing ads and maybe you're struggling is the internal part. So that means how is the ad set up? What parameters have you put in? Make no mistake, and I tell everybody this, you are not just going to walk into Facebook, set up an ad, and hit a home run on your first try. It's not going to happen. I wish you the best of luck, but it's not going to happen. It takes a lot of trial and error to be successful. And there's a lot of variables that can affect how it's going to go. The first thing I always talk to people about is the target market, right? You go in there, you select the people's age, you select where they live. The first thing is, are you making it too broad? Is your advertisement going to people who don't care about what you're marketing? And the goal is to get rid of as many of those people as possible. That's why it can be very challenging when you're setting up an ad for, like, let's say, life insurance. Your target market could be 30 to 65 years old, and it could be anywhere. There's going to be a lot of people who see that ad that just aren't interested, and that's going to cost you money. So number one is you got to try to find a way to really drill down and make it as niche as possible. Number two, you have to really think about the ad itself. When you first go into Facebook and you first set up that ad, they're going to ask you what type of ad do you want to set up. Do you want to set up a message ad? Do you want to set up a lead generation ad that sends people to a fillable form? Do you want to send them to a landing page? This is incredibly important. And depending on the type of ad you do and depending on the target market that you are targeting, it can make a big difference. I have personally found that when you're targeting seniors, people 65 and older, that using the Facebook messaging ad for whatever reason seems to work better. But when I'm targeting younger people, landing pages seem to work better. Again, I don't have a magical formula for you. All I can tell you is that it's going to take some trial and error. You're going to have to try to set up different types of ads and, figure out what works best for your target market. And then, of course, finally, the ad itself. It needs to be simple. It needs to immediately tell people what the purpose of it is. I see a lot of insurance agents who put, 3 or 4 paragraphs of information in the ad. That's not how it works. You get about 2 or 3 lines, maybe 12 to 15 words. So keep that in mind. Keep playing with it. Keep fooling around with what the ad says. I can't stress enough that it's going to take trial and error. And when you initially begin your ad, you have to, have the mindset that you're going to be in what I call the testing phase, where you're going to invest small amounts of money the first few days to see if you get any nibbles, to see if you get any bites, to see if you pull something in, a catch. So, like I said, don't expect to just set up the ad on day one, put $500 down, and expect all these leads. You're going to waste money really fast. Take your time. It's going to take, a week or two to get a feel for what you're doing and if it's working. Put $10 down for 2 days. Get used to it. Test it. So I appreciate everyone's time. Hopefully this insight was helpful. You can certainly learn more about our insurance website and social media services at benefitstore.net. And I look forward to talking to everyone next week. Thanks again. Bye-bye.